time. This is a really, really powerful month, I feel, for a lot of signs where there are necessary changes that are happening for you guys. I feel like there needs to be a little bit of a paradigm shift. There's a lot of career success. There are a lot of like practical, physical, tangible success. Success is coming for you guys. So I feel like whenever things are really going right, I feel it is really important for us to be thankful. Okay, so I'm gonna relay 4 messages for you guys, and then we're gonna go into each one of these messages and see how they play out. So we're gonna unpack these ideas. So, of course, the first message here is gratitude. And gratitude is mainly for everything that you have accumulated, okay? And I feel like for many of you, things are going really well for yourself, and you're kind of like feeling very elated, feeling like you're on great heights, looking down and thinking about, where you've been and all the things that you had to do, all the trenches that you had to crawl through, and, all the hardships that you had to bear in order to get you where you are right now. And I feel that you're really proud of yourself. But I also want to say as well, a lot of the times, yes, through sheer strength and determination, we're able to overcome a lot of these obstacles. But at the same time, we need to say a prayer of gratitude for the power that be that assisted us or helped us during the times when we feel like we couldn't go on. Okay, so it's less about the ego and more about having faith and assigning gratitude to things, to people, to circumstances that have really helped pave the way for you. Okay, and that's something I want to talk a little bit in depth about. The second message here, and they're saying here, a completion of a debt, a completion of a cycle. And whenever we complete things, we can exhale this sigh of relief and we feel like, okay, done, what's next? So I feel like you're at a really, really good space right now where a major, major period of culmination and completion has just happened for you guys. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Number 3, they're saying here, don't rush the process. So, we are in the period of Mercury in retrograde, and it is in the sign of Aries, in your sign. And you're going to feel restricted. You're going to feel restrained. And, fire signs do not handle restrictions very well. They do not like to be told what to do. And they don't like it when they're physically held back energetically or just, by another person. So the way for you to work through this energy is, allow things to kind of fall into place. Be less reactive and just be a little bit more laid back, okay? Don't fight it. It's going to feel like you're wearing a straitjacket and you're trying to get out of it, okay? And resistance is futile. So just let the process play out, at least until the end of the Mercury retrograde cycle, which is going to be towards the end of the month. Okay, so you want to just let things be a little bit. So just ease up on that energy. Don't exert too much of your energy trying to get things moving. They're stalled for a reason. Last message, prime real estate. So I feel like this has to do with something that you own and things that you have in your possession. Okay, so let's talk about the first message here. Let's talk about gratitude. Okay, so what I am seeing here is for many, many, many of you, I understand that, the when it comes to work, when it comes to achieving whatever it is that you desire, like getting a job so that you can have a house, and getting a house so that you can invite all the people that you love into the house. Having disposable income so that you can buy nice things for your kids, so that you can buy a car and a home for your parents. You have this tremendous sense of loyalty, and I feel like not a lot of people get that about you. They see you as someone who's like constantly on the go, who's darting back and forth, who is very, very ambitious, but they also see you as materialistic. But your sense of materialism isn't just contained to you. You want to take care of the people that you love. Everyone wants nice things, but I feel like for you guys, you do want nice things, but you want to be able to afford a higher standard of living, mainly because you want to be okay. You want to be able to take care of the people that you love. And at the same time, I feel like, especially if for those of you who came from, rags to riches, all your worldly success is kind of like the physical, the tangible manifestation of all the things that you've had to do, all your achievements. It's coming out in a very tangible way. So if you have designer clothes, you want to flaunt it because you have worked your butt off for it and you feel like, I'm going to flaunt it, damn it. I don't care what people say. So that's fine. And I also feel as well, it is really important when we go through life to preserve and maintain this sense of humility. Okay. And so gratitude and humility kind of, they're interwoven, and they do come hand in hand. And the point of it is, yes, you have, I want to say, overcome against all odds to get where you are today. You had to be very determined. You had to work hard. You had to wake up every day just to, go to a job that you hate. And then through over time, working at that job, gaining more job experience, gaining more, experience in your line of work, you're able to get into a higher paying job, et cetera, et cetera. So that's just a natural progression. And I feel like some of you are kind of lost in the process. And you start to think that, like, I got here based on my pure hard work and my sheer determination. No one helped me to get where I am. No one guided me. I didn't have a mentor growing up. Some of you even, my parents never went to college. They never guided me through that process. So there is this sense of resentment that the environment was not supportive, resentment that you didn't have the guidance and the mentorship, and the things were not handed to you on a silver platter. And the thing that I want to remind you is that whatever you believe in, whatever power that be, that you believe in, I feel like life or the universe will never give us what we can't handle. And so if you're comparing yourself to, somebody else who is very privileged, who had educated parents, who had mentorship, who had money, who had everything handed to them on a silver platter, and they're in the same position as you. And then if you're comparing that to you, who had it rough, who had to make your own way, who had to work extra hard, who had to even learn a new language, who had to, combat family instability, financial instability to get where you are right now. And you're comparing your life to this other person. You both are in the same place, but the other person had everything handed to them. And you had to fight for everything that was given to you. And you kind of look at the other person with resentment, right? You're just like, they're so clueless and blah, blah, blah. And so let's just take a moment to also appreciate the fact that you got where you were, or you got where you are today, mainly because you needed to learn those lessons earlier. You needed to learn how to fight. You needed to learn how to, be determined. You needed to learn how to fend for yourself. And the other person, they're living a different life. They needed to learn different skill sets. So comparing the two, it's like apples to oranges. It's not applicable. So we all are here to kind of go through our individual life lessons and our individual experiences. And so we really can't compare our achievements with another person, nor should we compare our achievements with another person. Doing so can trigger a lot of resentment, a lot of feelings of injustices, and it is also very, very, very divisive when we're trying to cultivate, a harmonious working environment, when we're trying to cultivate a sense of compassion and understanding for ourselves and other people, when we're trying to cultivate a sense of community. So on the flip side of that, let's also talk about, we are a product of our environment. And I also feel as well, we can't get where we need to go unless we have to go through these lessons, but also we have learned from other people along the way. So in that case, in that situation, it's the people that shape you who you are, for good or for bad, but they also have helped you along the way. So I feel like it would be really, really self-centered to say that I got where I got today through my sheer determination and hard work. Nobody helped me, and that's all it is, and that's not true. So think back and give that gratitude, give that thanks to the people that helped you. I'm sure they are out there. Give thanks to maybe even your mom and dad who was babysitting the kids so that you can, finish up your schoolwork, so that you can, work an extra or a few hours later, like work overtime. And the people that are willing to, support you, read your term papers, make correction, proofread, teachers that inspire you. There are plenty of people that were there to really egg you on, okay? And I also feel for some of you, give that gratitude to yourself for, I feel many of you have made, let's just say, in your 20s and 30s, decisions that you should have known better. And this is not to shame anybody, but I feel like you learned lessons the hard way, and you knew that, oh, I shouldn't make that choice. It's not good for me, but you did it anyways. You had to learn the hard way, and you had to learn it a specific way. And so other people might have coasted through the 20s and the 30s. They didn't really get themselves bogged down with these problems, but you did. So it took you longer to get where you need to be in relation to the other person. So everything that happens for a reason. And everything, we need to really understand, like, we're all parts of a whole. And through sheer strength and determination, you got where you got today, but it's still a byproduct of everything that everybody that helped you. Okay, so think of it as like the invisible hand, the divine, guidance, whatever it is. Give that prayer of gratitude. Take a moment to really think about all the people that really contributed to who you are right now, and you need to give that thanks. Okay, doing so is going to help you kind of re-embed yourself in this social fabric. It's going to help you feel a little bit less tension and a little bit more at ease with the people around you. Okay, and it's going to also strengthen that emotional bond between you and other people. Okay, second message here, completing a debt, so a cycle of completion. I'm feeling for many of you, you might have paid off your mortgage. I feel like this is something big. You might have paid off a major mortgage, so you're no longer owing money on a home. Major car payments, you're paying that off. Car payment, student loans for some of you, as well as home repair loans. So for those of you who are, who had to take out a loan because of home repairs, and you're also kind of resentful, like, oh, mom and dad didn't have the money to help me, and I had to do it on my own, and now it's paid off. I'm so proud of myself, and you should be proud of yourself. And I'm feeling as well, credit card. For those of you who were struggling in your 20s and your 30s with financial obligations and, running up your credit or ruining your credit, you're paying that off. You're getting things repaired. You're getting your life back on track on the financial front. I'm also feeling as well freeing up revenue. So I feel like many of you, I'm seeing as well some fathers paying off like child support. You're at the end of a cycle where the child is, has just turned 18, and your financial contributions or obligations, I would say, are you're no longer needed. So not just financially, not that they don't need you emotionally, they do, but financially you're freed. Okay, and then for others, even like couples or women, the kids have flown the nest, and now you're free. So there is a freeing up of a revenue stream since you're no longer needing to pay all these loans or to take care of the child or to pay child support or whatever it is. The money is freed up. Definitely, don't look at it as, oh, yay, I have this new revenue stream. I'm gonna go buy things. I'm just gonna buy a new car. I'm just gonna, don't do that. So spending freeze is in store, okay? And you want to start investing. You need to put that money away somehow to invest. It's freeing up because there is a reason for it. So don't go wild. Don't spend all your money all at once, okay? Free up that revenue stream. Invest in something. And I feel like if you do your research, there is going to be a major financial win for you when it comes to investment opportunities, okay? So if you are people that are in that category where something is freeing up, definitely, I do see major financial gains here, so it's really, really important. They are also saying as well with the prime real estate message, some of you are sitting on prime real estate, like you finish paying off a home. The home is accumulating in value very, 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 very quickly. So you own a piece of prime real estate. If you have that extra revenue stream, you definitely should invest in real estate. You definitely should look into, investment opportunities, buying houses, and even putting that house up for rent and then moving to a different location and buying a property or even renting a property because your house, the prime real estate, it's so high that whatever residual income revenue you get from renting it is going to pay for the other house. So I feel like you are in a really good position here to kind of what is that word, like rearrange your living arrangement so that you can benefit from this prime real estate idea concept, okay? I'm also sensing as well, they keep pointing downwards, like land, 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 like land investment, thinking about even investing overseas, buying property overseas for those who have the money, who travels a lot, or who are, in retirement age, and you're thinking about settling elsewhere. I do see a lot of people thinking about the Southeast Asian area. I'm also seeing like let me see, Southeast Asia. I'm also seeing as well like the northwestern corner of the United States as well as Canada. So like real estate in those areas. If you do want to look into that, I feel like it's a good time for you to kind of make these investments, okay? So let me backtrack a little bit here with that message here, completing that debt. Save up the money, save up whatever you can, okay? And definitely, like gratitude and humility. Humility is teaching you, to live a more humble life. So that means curbing your spending a little bit, entertaining people at home and not living your life through social media. Okay, so that basically means, don't have that flashy lifestyle. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I feel that if you have any type of inkling that this is empty, this is no longer fun, this is no longer what I want to do, then curb down on that social media presence and reinvest the money rather than wasting or spending exorbitant amount of money to maintain that lifestyle, to maintain the the designer clothes and the fast cars. Okay, so I feel that ultimately it's going to leave you very empty and it's going to leave you financially drained. So what's the point, right? Reinvest that money elsewhere. You're in a really good position right now to think about how you can live with a lot more gratitude and a lot more humility. Okay, I'm going to jump now. Prime real estate, going back to that message again. I feel as if many of you are thinking about as well, like retirement for parents. So you might have finished taking care of the kids and now you're thinking about, how are my folks doing? Are they happy? Do I need to buy them property? Do I need to do anything for them? And you're going to want to do something big for them. But I would urge you, before you do that, have a talk with them, because they might not want you to. They might have, different ideas in mind. They might not want to settle down in one place. Like if you're thinking about buying them a car or a house, they're just like, no, honey, we want to travel the world. We want to be somewhere else. So you want to have these conversations first before you jump the gun. I feel like some of you are planning a big surprise, but you need to have the conversation first, okay? For those of you who are dealing with children, who have children, and especially an earth sign child, so a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn, what I do feel here is this is a child that needs to be, the energy needs to be expended. So they need to either be enrolled in, like extracurricular activities, a tutor, a mentor, or something outside of the classroom, okay? So it's almost like they're not getting enough stimulation, and they're not getting enough, their curiosity is not satiated in the classroom. They're going to need more. And I especially feel like extracurricular activities. And I do feel as well, if you have children who are like in high school and they're thinking about studying abroad, like going to study abroad, definitely encourage them, because I feel like that's going to be a really good opportunity for them to really expand their mind and their consciousness, and also to have that, to make them a lot more competitive when they join the university or when they are in the labor force. I feel like there's a child here that wants to go somewhere else. So in Washington D.C., in New York, they want to get involved. Definitely encourage them to go. Okay, encourage them to do it. Encourage them to just explore outside of their territory. And I also feel like they could be middle school age, going going further away for a competition. So there is a little bit of money that needs to be accounted for when, if you have in particular an earth sign child, so Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. So the last message that I have here for you guys is they're mentioning don't rush the process, okay? And this is in regards to your work and your relationship. So let me talk about the relationship first. Many of you, once again, I'm getting that clock. It's that ticking clock. And you could be male or female. It doesn't really matter. But I feel like a lot of you, you're very results oriented. You rush through the process so that you can have the result that you want. Okay? And you're very fast and speedy, and you want what you want, and you just kind of beeline for it. And what I'm seeing here is wanting a relationship to form, wanting certainty, wanting that definitive answer from a relationship partner. And they're saying don't rush the process. You need to know this person a little bit more. You need to take time to kind of understand this person and see how they operate under pressure before you should commit to them. And a lot of the times, when things are great, the relationship is great, right? And then something happens, something traumatic happens, and then you find out that your partner is not who you thought they were, because you have never seen them under pressure. You have never seen them kind of slink away and be the person that you didn't think, that be the person that couldn't handle the pressure, or buckled under the pressure, or exhibited very unadmirable traits under pressure. So there is something here about your relationship. The partner is going to experience a lot of pressure for this month, and it is up to you to kind of calmly, from the sidelines, observe how they handle difficulties. Observe if they're losing their cool, and observe whether or not, they are still right for you, whether or not the pressure has gotten to them, or they're able to overcome it. So I feel like it's an observation that needs to happen here. And so slow down a little bit and don't rush this process, okay? I'm feeling as well, let me see here. I'm feeling as well, some of you are just kind of jaded with the whole concept of marriage. So kind of like, oh, it's overrated, or, and I feel some of you, it's sort of like, You might have had, parents that divorced, okay? Or you might have worked in a capacity where you see a lot of people kind of cheating on their spouse, or people stepping out of their relationships, or flirting outside the relationship, and it kind of made you feel really jaded about relationships and marriages and, happily ever after. Like, yes, those are nice concepts, but you feel like they don't really exist. So some of you are feeling a little bit jaded, and you're kind of out there having a good time, having fun. But I know deep down you still believe in that happily ever after. And I mentioned this before, you're a lot softer and you're a lot more of a romantic than you would let on. You don't want people to see you as this, warm, fuzzy, romantic, sensitive type. But deep down, you do believe in these things. And if you believe in these things, there's no shame in it, you know. Don't talk tough if you don't believe the talk. So it's really, really important for you to just, remind yourself that there are good people out there. It's just the people that you might have dealt with in the past were not the right people. It doesn't mean they're bad people. They just weren't right for you. And so coming to terms with the fact that there are good people out there. There are, it still takes a lot to make a relationship work, and that person might not have been a bad person, they just weren't the right one for you. So release the resentment as well. They're not a bad person, they're just not right for me. I try to force them into something that they weren't, and I saw them as something that they are not. So try to release that, okay? And then release the blame that you place on yourself too. How could I have fallen for that all these years? Release that energy. Let it go. So the relationship here, just don't rush the process. Ease up a little bit. Let things organically and naturally kind of play itself out. Okay? You're going to be a lot more in the process of easing up. I feel like you're going to feel a little bit of like that weight lifted off your shoulders. You're going to feel like I was going through life charging ahead all the time. You're tired and you want somebody to help you pick up the slack. You want somebody to kind of like be in it with you, be that, relationship partner with you, where things can be fair, where you don't have to fight so hard, where you don't have to be the one to plan everything and get things going. Like, you're tired of it. And so ease up a little bit. The energy that you kind of give yourself, the energy that you kind of embody, is going to be the energy that you attract. Okay, so ease up a little bit, let things, organically play themselves out. Don't control and don't rush. Okay, Mercury in retrograde, it's not a good time to rush, anyways. And this Mercury in retrograde, I feel like it's really important for you to kind of get to the fundamental truth, which is that as much as you believe that, I did this, I achieved this of my own volition, of my own sheer, determination. I don't think that's the truth, and I feel like it's really important for us to look at all the people, all the situations, all the circumstances that helped us get to where we are, okay, and give gratitude to that. I'm feeling in the work environment right now, there's a situation here where you're feeling a little bit like work is going great. Financially, you're in a really good prime position to, earn a lot of money, to continue in your work, but I feel like you're looking for something else. And I'm also sensing as well, like, you're telling yourself, I'm not happy here. But it's not because you're not happy there. It's because you feel like you're not really growing anymore. So it's really important to call it for what it is, by its name, rather than say, I'm not happy here. You can ask yourself, I'm not being challenged here. I think that's the better sentence. I'm not being challenged here. I'm not learning anything new. So what can I do so that I can be challenged? What can I do so that I can learn something new? There's some transition happening in your career, and I feel that it's going to be very good for you. And I especially feel as well, things to shift in your career sector. Okay, new jobs, new clients, new revenue stream, new ideas. Okay, and maybe I'll be back next the end of the month, maybe for the mid-month reading.